Over the last 2 years, I have watched every single Dr. Joe Dispenza testimonial on YouTube. And there's really one main thing that I've taken away from pretty much all of the videos. There is the same running theme throughout all of them. And when I started this work, I was under the belief that the meditations were the key to how I was going to feel better and deal with some of the symptoms that I had at the time. I didn't really have a full understanding of the fact that the meditations are just a way for you to practice, and that's not the full picture. And I think that's what is clear from when you watch the testimonials, that actually a lot of people were not fixated on trying to heal particular illnesses or symptoms or even manifesting things. They weren't particularly fixated on that. Maybe they were when they started out, and that's probably what got them onto the journey of meditating and becoming somebody else. But once they actually started the work, they forgot about that. That was no longer the actual reason that they kept meditating. And a lot of people were saying that they were meditating purely because they actually enjoyed the experience. So they actually enjoyed how they felt as a result of them. And that was what kept them turning up every single day. And it's not easy to keep turning up for meditations, especially when they are 45 minutes and an hour, which a lot of these meditations are. So there's a lot of times where in the testimonials, they were talking about how they didn't feel like doing it. They just didn't feel like it, but yet they still carried on. And what I think happens there is when you keep repeating behaviors that you know are good for you, that you know are going to help you, even when you don't feel like it, you build up a resilience level and you build up tolerance to becoming somebody different, because ultimately maybe before you wouldn't have done that. You actually would have just said, actually, I don't feel like it today, I'm not going to do it. And because these people just kept turning up, they kept doing meditations, but it wasn't just the meditations that actually helped these people to heal. So a lot of the people in the testimonials are people who have gone to the advanced retreats where they're paying to go and actually sit with Dr. Joe Dispenza and thousands of other people and meditate and learn with those. So, of course, a lot of the people who were interviewed do have serious illness. However, they all had the same thing in common, was that they stopped focusing on that. They stopped focusing on that and became more interested in actually changing as a person. So the meditations help them to do that, because I think for a lot of these people, they weren't meditating beforehand. So straight away, that was a completely new behavior for them and a new experience that they became meditators. So to change your reality, you have to change your personality. And that was the start for them. That's how they started that off. And then they decided, actually, I'm going to look at my thoughts. I'm going to look at my behaviors each day. I'm going to look at how I act. And I'm going to keep tweaking that over time. So people who were complainers beforehand, they realized that they spent most of the day complaining. And they decided, actually, I don't want to do that now. I'm going to become this really positive person, or I'm going to become the person that is cheerleading for other people. And they changed an element of their personality. And in doing that over time, that's what caused the genes to change. That caused them to upregulate genes, which is a good thing. When genes downregulate, that is what causes disease. So they actually were changing their genetic makeup through these changes in their beliefs, changes in their personality as well. And that's my main takeaway from watching all of the testimonials, is people who just changed themselves and changed their way of being were able to eradicate all various manner of diseases. And I think there can be a lot of fixation on which meditation did you do? And that seems to be the first question that people get asked when they heal something. And ultimately, it doesn't matter which meditation you pick. The reason there's so many meditations on there, in my opinion, is purely because people like different things. So some of them are more aimed at people who are trying to heal health conditions. Some of the meditations are for people who are trying to manifest. There's variety because that's the nature of humans. We don't just want one meditation. There's got to be different ones for different people. And I don't think one particular meditation is what heals people. It's just the fact they're meditating in general. It's the fact they are looking at their thoughts, their behaviors, their actions, and they keep tweaking it as they go. So there's this period of them looking at themselves on a daily basis to review how they've been that day. And that's what I like about doing morning and evening meditations, because it lets you review yourself and how you're being. And when you're not acting in a way that you want to be acting, you can keep tweaking that. And this takes a lot of time. And that's, I think, something that can put people off as well. In one of the testimonials, the man was talking about how he meditated for 15 months. And he'd done this at home. So he'd done the online workshop, but he actually meditated at home himself. So he'd self-learned all of this. And it just shows you that, 15 months, to a lot of people, they think, I'm not going to stick at that for 15 months. And that can be the problem, is that change takes time, and it doesn't matter what you're trying to change. It could be your health. It could be your body. If you go to the gym, you'll know changes from the gym take months upon years to actually develop certain muscle groups. So it's no real surprise that it's taking, 15 months. It might take longer than that. So it's not about time. It's not about which meditation. It is about you changing in some way in order for that healing to take place. And I think the best way to do this, in the most simplest way, is really just to keep a review daily of how you act, believe, and think. And you can easily do this by just keep checking in with yourself once a day to see, actually, what am I thinking about right now? Am I thinking about that person from the past who wronged me 4 years ago and I'm still thinking about it? How can I replace that with something that is joyful, that actually is me looking to the future? And this is what takes a lot of time, and it's quite cumbersome because you have to keep reviewing yourself, and it's quite boring a lot of the time because nothing really exciting about constantly reviewing your behavior, actions, and thinking. But it does work. It does work over time. So that's been my main takeaways from the testimonials. Of course, go out there and watch them yourselves. That's my opinion, my takeaway from the testimonials that are on YouTube here. I think there must be 30 or more videos on there. I've watched them over the last couple of years as I've done this work. And yeah, go out there, watch them for yourself. Let me know in the comments what you think. What is your main takeaway from the Joe Dispenza testimonial videos?